Yo, SWACTalk, light on the mic, it's a play. See Wells the guy taking us state to state. Catch us Wednesday, Sunday, stats on the buffet. From Grand Iron to the court, we got the say. Football spirals, hoop dreams in the chat. Chopping it up, deep dives on every stat. Texas to Florida, repping border to border. Arkansas to Bama, the vibe getting warmer. SWACTalk, keep the knowledge on deck. See well spinning, wisdom gotta show respect. Facts flying higher than a wide receiver's check. From football to hoops, what y'all expect? Guests roll through, dropping stories untold. Legends from the SWAC, spitting straight gold. Locker room vibe, secrets unfold. CW heavy like a championship hold. The South's got a rhythm, a culture to match. Each stat, each fact, another door latch. SWACTalk connects like a perfect pass catch. From Alabama skies to Florida's grass patch. SWACTalk, keep the energy alive. Wednesday to Sunday, where the legends thrive. Facts and stats sharper than a coach's knife. Ballin' on the mic, that's how we survive. Keep the energy alive. Wednesday to Sunday where the legends thrive. Facts and stats sharper than a coach's knife. Ballin' on the mic, that's how we survive.
All right, everybody, what's going on, man? How y'all doing? Welcome to Friday SWACTalk. We are anticipating having Coach Cris Dishman on with us today. Haven't really got clarity, but you know, if he comes through, he comes through. If not, we're just gonna chop it up for a few minutes. Since I'm already here, I decided that I'm just gonna kind of chop it up a little bit with y'all, man. And I got a couple of things I do want to get off my chest. So that's probably what this show gonna be. So you know, if y'all looking for the Coach Dishman interview, we're gonna try to make that happen. Hopefully we can get that straightened out and reschedule if necessary. But salute to TSU for coming through and actually having a give and take back and forth on putting it together. And you know, that's actually what I want to talk about. And not that, because this has nothing to do with TSU, nothing to do with Coach Dishman, man. Like I said, I got a lot of love for TSU. I got a lot of love for the staff over there. I got a lot of love for people who come through. You know, I had a lot of great interviews with people from TSU, so this had nothing to do with them. But there are a couple of schools in particular, man, that I feel like don't really make it easy for you. First off, I'm gonna say this, and like I said, I'm not gonna be on here too long, man, because I don't want to spend my Friday night crashing out. But first off, if covering the SWAC is hard, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something that it take a lot of work, man, to cover this league, because there is not a lot there for you in terms of being able to find things easily. And so what's going on, E Moore, man? Like I say, we just chopping it up for a few minutes in here today, man. I appreciate you stopping through. But like I said, you know, covering the SWAC is hard because there's only 3 or 4 schools, man, that make things easy for you to do. Shout out to Jackson State, shout out to PV, shout out to Bama State, shout out to Alabama A&M. Those schools, man, they make it so you need information on spring football, boom, is there. You know, shout out to FAMU. They got some things too that help you out. It's just, you know, like I said, man, you want to make a video about anything, man, it take a lot of legwork, and I'm not complaining because, you know, I do like I like numbers and I like to do research and stuff, so I don't really make a big deal out of it. But if y'all know me, y'all know my biggest gripe is no rosters. You know what I'm saying? Like the lack of rosters in the spring, man. And I know with the transfer portal being what it is, and you know, these dudes going in the portal all the time in the window coming right after spring practice, that, you know, teams are going to change. You know, what you got coming in ain't going to be what you got coming out. But I do feel like when you have a spring game, you need, you got fans that show up. You owe them that much to know who the guys are on that team. Everybody doesn't follow the team that close. Everybody doesn't keep tabs on who is who. Everybody can't tell you who this guy is because of the way the body type or whatever. So I that's my first gripe. Is it just makes it hard, man, and it make you question yourself a little bit because you sitting there looking like I want to do things the right way. I want to put on the right way, but I don't want to have to sit here and go through dudes' social media and guesstimate who's back and who's not. I don't want to take that much time to do that kind of stuff, but I do because I want to bring y'all, the best of what I could bring y'all. But when I look at it as a whole, man, it's hard. And my biggest issue, and again, we're gonna make this interview happen one way or the other. This is like the second time we couldn't make it last time. His power was out, but this time we couldn't make it happen. So we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna bring it to y'all. But I do have a gripe with one school in particular, and they got a new coach. Let me put it that way. There's a school with a new coach, and so I reached out, because you want to follow the proper procedure. I reached out to the athletic department, SID. Hit them up. I'm interested in interviewing your coach. They hit me back. Okay, what day is good for you? What's your schedule look like? I hit them back. They hit me and they said, this coach, he's new. Wait till after his introductory press conference, we'll set something up. Hey, all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going, we got lucky getting Coach Jackson before he got his press conference. We got lucky with that. And shout out to my boy for putting that together. But, everything don't always fall through like that. And so I was like, okay, respect on the respect. I'm going to just, slide back, let coach do his thing, let school do their thing. I got a lot of things I can bring, so I fell back. And so I wrote back this past week. And same thing, same spiel. Gave them a clip of my show, so they know what they're getting into. They hit me back, and that's great. We very interested. Let us know when and what time and everything. Boom, hit them back. I ain't heard from them motherfuckers since, man, and that really put me in a zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't carry myself like I deserve to get this interview. I deserve to get that interview. I don't carry myself like that. But if you write me and you tell me that you're interested and you want to know when, and I tell you when, and you don't write me back, it puts me in a spot, man. And right now I'm wrestling with this kind of stuff because I kind of feel away, like I want to bring y'all a lot of good stuff, man. We gotta, we working on a couple of new things, a couple of new show ideas and things. And I want to bring y'all a lot of different stuff other than, me sitting here talking or whatever. So, it's hard, man, when you reach out to people and they don't, they kind of down, but they kind of not. And so it just made me feel away. But I gave them a little bit of bail because I felt like, I didn't realize, and it was my fault because I didn't realize the holiday was right there. So I was like, okay, I'll let you slide for that. People off, whatever. But hey, that's over with now. You know what I'm saying? And other people can hit back after the holiday. You can hit back after the holiday. And I know a lot of people, a lot of schools are very invested in social media, and then the rest of them ain't, man. And they really don't get this space. And I'm gonna say this, before somebody be like, yo, the money this, the money that, and my co-host worked at Bama State. in athletics, so I know what the compliance department. I know the numbers in that. I know the numbers in this department. I know the numbers in that department, and it's lacking. But you you can't be that slacked off that you can't follow through on something when you've been requested 2 times. And so for whatever reason it is, and then I also reached out to them for a couple other things, and it's like these people is allergic to any responses. And so that I'm a kind of person, man. I usually let a lot of things slide, or I let a lot of things build up until it hit that boiling point. And today is that point. And again, it don't got nothing to do with the show today, man. Like I said, we're gonna have Coach Dishman on the show one way or the other, man. We've been trying to make this happen since like last year, so we're gonna make this happen. And I know we will, because like I said, I got nothing but love for TSU and everything they do. Anytime I've had any kind of question or want to talk to somebody from TSU, I get it. So I don't even worry about that. This. I don't know. I think I'm being sour because this didn't come through. This is gonna always happen. And like I said, I get that, and that's all good. But if you're that thin, then I'd rather you not even respond in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather you just let it go off into the ether and not even deal with it than to deal with it and leave it hanging, because I had a couple other things that I moved around for that. And again, that's me. That ain't their problem. That's my problem. But I got time today, so I wanted to sit down and just put this out there. And I appreciate anybody that stayed. If y'all just coming in to see a good interview and y'all ain't getting it, I understand if y'all want to dip out, because I'm probably not gonna be on this too long, but because I don't want to get things building. I really don't want to crash out, because I got a lot of other things that kind of molds with that. But I just think when you're dealing with certain schools, they make it very hard. And I don't think the SWAC as a whole, and a lot of these schools, again, the schools I named, they great at this. They show, they appreciate the people that do what they do, and they understand and they embrace. I think a lot of these schools don't understand, man, or they don't want to understand, or they don't want to embrace, this space. And that makes it frustrating, man, because you know what I'm saying, you putting in work, and you're trying to do the right, you're trying to do things, you're trying to make things happen for this avenue. You're trying to bring people information, you're trying to bring people entertainment in the SWAC world, because there's always a need for it. And when you can't get anybody to work with you, you can't get any love from the league. And so, man, like I said, I got mad love for TSU, man. I appreciate you, Jamel, for coming through. I got mad love for TSU, and this, like I said, this ain't no strays at TSU. I say that all day long. This ain't no strays at TSU. I know we're gonna make that happen, but I just look at it, like I said, it's two schools, man, that I just don't understand, how they operate, and one of them is mine. So y'all that heard me complain about certain things, and you can only people can only do so much, and you have to kind of be an understanding of that. But when you got an avenue to sit down and say what you want to say, then you got the right to sit down and say what you want to say. And that's where I'm at with this. This is more just a, what I'm saying, kind of get it out there off my chest and move forward, because I honestly, man, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all before I get up out of here. I've been really wrestling with the direction of this channel. Like, I've been really wrestling with, do I want to expand my show? Do I want to expand SWACTalk? Do I want to, what I'm saying, do this with SWAC Smoke? Or do I want to, try to bring y'all this, have somebody bring y'all this and somebody bring y'all that? And so, I've been kind of wrestling with the direction of everything, And so I really, I really felt like I didn't know which way to turn, man. And I had a couple moments where I felt like I might not, you know what I'm saying, I might not do a couple of these things because it just, it makes it feel a little bit like work. And my goal in this stuff is to never feel like work. And so, we kind of explore, we kind of exploring some new things to, constantly bring y'all different things, you know, variety, the spice of life. I want this channel to be, more than just me. So, we got a couple of things we're working on, but it really, a lot of this really stems from a simple email, man. And I know I'm in my feelings, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, anybody want to be like, man, that dude in his feelings, I can be that way sometimes, and I ain't ashamed of it. But like I said, man, we're gonna continue to do what we do, and like I said, we're gonna bring y'all great stuff. When we bring y'all stuff, I got a great show lined up on Wednesday, and I'm trying to get back with my boy Coach 67 Sports. We're gonna put it down. And anything else that come through, and we got our 200 episode of SWAC Smoke coming up. I'm definitely trying to do something big for that. So I really just wanted to take a couple minutes, man, to kind of get this out because I already was gonna be here, and I didn't want to have I didn't want to just not have anything. But we're gonna continue to work on doing this, and I pride myself on doing things the right way and going and doing the proper procedure because I could really reach out to a lot of these people behind the scenes, but they got their standards and practices that you got to follow, and I don't want to get on nobody's list, which I might be now because I don't care, you know what I'm saying, man. Like I don't think I'm gonna ask that school for anything else because I don't feel like they really want to get down with me. Which, hey, if you don't, then don't. But like I said, man, I'm just gonna get up out of here right now, man, because I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to crash out because I do got a lot of things flowing through my mind, and so I don't want to put it all out here like that. But like I say, man, shout out to everybody, man, because like I say, I do this more because I think, especially like the players, I think a lot of these guys, and I'm working on getting, I want to, interview some of the female athletes as well. So it's not just, just the guys, but I think a lot of these players, student athletes, I think they enjoy being able to, tell a story. Everybody got a story, and I try to, I try to bring everybody everybody the best that I can bring them. And like I say, I'm gonna be harder on Southern than I be hard on anybody else. So you ain't never got to worry about me other than unless we talking noise. You ain't never really got to worry about me putting Southern above anything because to me, Southern got that they gotta they gotta fix and improve, and I'm never gonna be like they perfect. So I'm going, if they do wrong, then I'm gonna put them on blast, and I think that's the way we need to be with this. But like I said, I'm not gonna stay too much longer, man, because I don't want to turn this into me just crashing out because I can do that if I allow myself to. But I do want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. And like I said, we're gonna work on getting this interview because, like I said, this is the second time we couldn't make it happen. And we're gonna make it happen, man, because I really want to get Coach Dishman on here because he got a great thing going at TSU, and he got a I don't know how many of y'all really pay attention to TSU media, but he got a great personality, man, and I like his energy, and I really want to try to make it happen. So when we bring it to y'all, we're gonna bring it to y'all. Don't worry. And like I said, I'm trying to continue to do this, especially in the off season, because you need that content. During the season, football sells itself. But this is the time when you gotta kind of make things happen. So we're gonna continue to do what we do, man. Reach out to different people and just see what happens. So like I said, I'm gonna bounce up out here, man. But I thank y'all for tuning in. And like I say, I will be back Sunday with my defensive back returning top returning defensive back video. The portal will be closed, so I don't have to worry about nobody leaving now because I had like 3 straight videos where people left as soon as I put the videos out. So I might have a video where I don't have to worry about that. But like I said, y'all keep it locked in. Like I say, man, we got a big show coming on Wednesday. Definitely keep that locked in. Wednesday at 8 o'clock. is going down. My boy Lionel Mosby Jr. from PV versus everybody. I know y'all want to see Lionel come out here and talk his PV talk. So y'all definitely keep it locked here, man. We've been trying to get together for a minute. And like I said, my boy Coach 67, we're gonna continue to do something. We might actually make a show if we could kind of collaborate long term. We might actually do a Southern show on here more often, because I got to talk my Jags every now and then. But like I said, we got a lot of things that we trying to make happen, man. So don't be surprised if you see a video from like Jerome. You know what I'm saying? Bringing you something because he got some ideas that he want to put down, and we just trying to expand and be different. And we're in our 4th year, so we wanna make some things happen. Senior year, you're trying to make it all happen. So we're gonna continue to bring y'all the best that we can bring y'all. And when I do have situations come up like this, you best believe I'm gonna put it there if I'm in front of a camera. So I do want to thank y'all for tuning in. And oh yeah, man, we can definitely. Oh, we already talked. Me, Jamel, he gonna be through a lot more often when he can, because he bring it, man. He knows his TSU and he like to talk, and so we definitely working on trying to get him on some of our Saturday live post game shows and things like that. So we really we're really trying to build a little bit of something with everything, man, and just bring y'all as much as we can, but. Like I said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I didn't ramble for like 20 minutes, and so like I said, we're gonna make some things happen, and we will catch y'all Sunday. I would say probably you can look for that video to drop probably around 12 or 1 o'clock. And so we'll see y'all then, man. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll holler at y'all. Peace.